Thank you, Cody and Ajla, so much for joining us today for this quick fireside chat. We wanted to chat with you because Cody, you're a Salesforce employee based in New York City, and Ajla, you're a Hope and Homes employee based in Europe, and you are both connected through the Sustaining Member NGO training program. Where you're working on some of the most pressing issues that your organization's facing through the content that we're delivering and through the kind of mentorship and regular meetings with Cody. So before we get going into the questions and hear more about how the program's been going for you and its impacts, I'm wondering if you guys would do a quick interview about yourselves. So we'll start with you, Ajla, ladies first, then we'll move on to you, Cody.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much for the opportunity and that you want to hear feedback from me. My name is Ajla. I live in Bosnia and Herzegovina, in capital town Sarajevo, and I work for a non-governmental organization called Hope and Homes for Children. I have been part of the team of this organization for 3 years now. And I strongly believe in the mission, in a vision, and the values we have as an organization. And I do this job with great love. I believe that every child needs family, and I'm convinced that no other option can compensate the lack of the family, and that is my main driver, I guess.
Thank you so much, Ajla. Cody, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thanks for giving me the chance to chat again, and the feedback it's always great and appreciative, buddy. But yeah, I am from California originally, but I live here in New York City in Brooklyn, and I work for Salesforce in our healthcare division. So working with healthcare companies and kind of helping drive technological change and sort of help these companies adapt. I think for me, working with Venture Impact and Hope and Homes for me comes from the drive to help spread that technology and kind of that know-how and knowledge that I've built up into other places. I think I'm lucky enough to have been exposed to these types of companies and this sort of change. And it's interesting and a learning experience for me to kind of be able to switch brains and actually think about how I can, use what I've learned in a more impactful way. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I like, looking at challenges and looking to solve them and all that. So yeah, it's been great so far.
Great, awesome. And maybe we'll go back to you, Ajla, again, but why did you decide to join this Venture to Impact mentorship program or training program?
Hope and Homes for Children in Bosnia and Herzegovina is a small team. And I can say that we all have an obligation equally to fundraise. I am often engaged in campaigns and fundraising, so I'm always looking for new skills and knowledge. I joined this training because I believe it will be useful for me. I believe that I will gain some new experience that will help me to be better at my job. And I'm always happy to educate myself further. So I really had really big expectations from this training.
Oh, I love it. Well, we'll check in on those and if we've met them in a minute. Cody, why did you want to be a part of this program as a mentor?
Yeah, I think kind of echoing what I said a minute ago is, I think part of it is wanting to continue to learn and use the things that I've learned and the skills that I learned in my regular everyday job in a different capacity, in a different light. I think that's always good. It's how you learn, is putting yourself through that. I think on top of it, it's the fact that we're in this global pandemic. Things have shifted even more, and these organizations need support in different ways. And so I mean, you guys at Venture Impact did an amazing job of pivoting when your whole organization is so travel based and being there in person. So big credit to you, but facilitating that and making, that shift to being like, hey, how can we use these volunteers in a remote capacity? So yeah.
Yeah, totally makes sense. And I love like the desire to contribute and the desire to learn. It seems like you guys are a good match. Can you guys tell me a little bit about the partnership or the relationship between you two so far?
I think it's been great. I think we're trying to kind of think. We're doing obviously the homeworks and stuff like that, but trying to think of other ways to formalize the processes that Open Homes in Bosnia is using. Try to leverage some technology. So we're looking at like MailChimp today and stuff like that. But I think it's been good. It's been a fun experience thus far.
That's awesome. We use MailChimp, so that's awesome.
We might need your help then. We might need your help later, actually. You might need to stay on.
Absolutely. How about you, Ajla?
I'm very glad to be a part of this whole process, and I really appreciate the effort and commitment of everyone, especially mentor Cody. I think we have developed a really good system that provides us with very efficient Zoom sessions. So every Monday, I get a task and I try to do it, and then together, usually on Thursdays, we review it. I review it, my task with him. Cody always has very good suggestions and tips, and I always try to apply them, both to specific tasks and also in the future when I work on fundraising. I feel and I understand well what he's proposing, and in general, I think I'm very satisfied with partnership so far.
That's so wonderful to hear. I'm actually getting shivers because this is such a new experiment for us. So for me to hear that firsthand from you guys makes me just feel really, really proud of the entire team, of all the organizations that committed, and of course all the mentors that jumped on board. And when we do things like this, everybody learns. So Venture to Impact is learning a ton. And I'm kind of curious to understand, what have you learned, Ajla, because of the partnership, and then what you have learned, Cody, because of this partnership? So Ajla, we'll start with you.
Okay. Well, one of the tips that I will surely remember is to sometimes put myself in a role of the donor, and forgetting about the vocabulary we use in the organization, to use simple words and say what if I were not a part of the team, would like to hear and know. Another thing that I didn't know, that there are tools actually that can make our journey through fundraising easier, such as we already mentioned MailChimp, and I'm really looking forward to being able to use something like that, and that will make, I'm sure that will make my job easier in the future.
Wonderful. And Cody, what have you learned?
Yeah, I think I've learned about fundraising. I mean, I don't necessarily do that too often, and even in Venture Impact, I've been kind of just put in position to. I mean, in Rwanda, we of course did some stuff with figuring out business ideas and things like that, but I've had to kind of learn fundraising on the fly, and I've been great in teaching that, and has a really good grasp on kind of the best ways to fundraise and kind of telling the right story. So, I've kind of learned to help, include what I, can kind of excel at, which is the sales side of things and kind of the consistency and leveraging technology and, being on top of people from a marketing standpoint, communication standpoint. So been able to kind of refine that. And again, like the main theme for me is, using the skills that I have, but in a different fashion, which I think a lot of people don't get the chance to do.
It's so fascinating hearing you talk about that, because it's like you're expanding your entire sales journey into like a nonprofit consulting journey, which is just like this really unique experience. Like your arsenal is like being like developed into like this nonprofit like expertise, which is not something that you had planned on originally. That's really cool. So we'll wrap up with this question, which is, what impact will the mentorship sessions and the content have on your work? Ajla, maybe we'll start with you.
I think these sessions will help me systemize my work better. Certainly, I have a plan to share my experience with the whole team, to pass on them certain knowledge that that I learned from this training, and show them the tools that we can use, all use to make sure that we can easier achieve results as a team. We can easier get positive results, feedbacks, and foundries better. So I think that is the biggest impact that I will try to remember from this mentorship.
That's wonderful. And Cody, how has your commitment to this program impacted you?
Yeah, I think like thinking more critically, thinking outside the box, again, using my efforts towards something that's nonprofit, that's something that, is super beneficial directly to people. And I'd hope that like the impact is less on me and more on the organization to be able to fundraise more and kind of meet those goals that they want to hit. And that's kind of, part of why I'm in it too, right? It's not all me. It's definitely like, there's residual factors that are beneficial, but definitely want to make sure that, Ajla and her team are, well equipped better equipped, maybe at least by a little bit, to fundraise and, succeed.
Awesome.
Sure.
Well, thank you guys. What was that, Ajla?
I'm sure we will be.
Excellent. I thank you guys so much for allowing me to crash your mentorship session for 15 minutes and to record this. And we really look forward to having the wrap-up survey at the end of the program in a couple of weeks to learn about how things continue to evolve for you guys and for this mentorship relationship. So thank you.
Thank you.